Time and Temperature is brought to you by Headquarter Toyota.
Now on 7 News.
On News Alert at noon, no prison time for a former South Florida police officer who shot an unarmed therapist. We are live.
Burning questions this noon after part of a pet cemetery business goes up in flames.
Stuck in Spain, cruise passengers winding up in a holding pattern overseas. And now a woman from South Florida is sharing her story with just one station.
And a hole with appetites for work trucks opens up outside a Central Florida business.
As the immigration battle heats up on Capitol Hill, a brand new government report warns of a serious crisis brewing at migrant holding facilities along the border. I'm Casey Stiegel. The latest on that report is coming up.
Good afternoon, South Florida. I'm Alex Tiarmas.
And I'm Lorena Estrada. 7 News at noon is next.
What can you do when your board refuses to tent for termites? Tonight at 10. This is 7 News at noon.
Breaking news at noon. No prison time for former North Miami police officer who shot an unarmed therapist. Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us. It took 2 trials to get a guilty verdict.
Now a sentence has been handed down. 7's Andrew Dimbert is live at the Metro Justice Building with what went on. Andrew?
Yeah, Jonathan Aleda, the North Miami police officer who was convicted in the shooting of an unarmed man, has just been sentenced. The judge handing down that sentence, giving Aleda 1-year administrative probation, 100 community service hours, and ordering that he write a 2,500-word essay on the importance of communication. But the big news here, no jail time. Meanwhile, a spokesperson in the department tells 7 News they've fired Aleda, but the police union is now fighting to get his job back, especially in light of this sentencing that again includes no jail time. This after a lengthy trial and retrial. Aleda was found guilty of culpable negligence, a misdemeanor, and not guilty on felony charges after he was convicted in that shooting of an unarmed behavioral therapist back in 2016. In 2016, Aleda was responding to calls of a suicidal man. He fired 3 shots in the direction of behavioral therapist Charles Kinsley and a man with autism who were both lying in the middle of the streets. Now, one of those bullets hit Kinsley, who was on the ground with his hands up. This afternoon, both the state and defense made their case for sentencing and punishment. Aleda had previously rejected a 1-year probation deal with no jail time, and today he pleaded with a judge for more leniency.
As a result, sir, I'm asking for your understanding. I'm not asking for pity. I'm not asking for anything of that such. I'm just asking for understanding.
And Aleda was facing a year in prison. His battle's not over. Again, he's going to be fighting to get his job back, and he is backed by the police union. That is the very latest. Live in Miami, Andrew Dimbert, 7 News.
A raging fire in West Miami-Dade, a pet cemetery going up in flames. 7's Katrina Bush is live near the still smoldering scene to give us an update. Katrina?
Well, fire investigators are working right now to determine what caused this fire, while I'm told that employees here have been able to move their operations elsewhere, at least for the time being. I'm also told they will be making some very important phone calls to some very worried pet parents.
I don't know what's going to happen with my pet. That's pretty much what I need to know.
Damaris Gantaria stopping by Pet Loss Center of Miami before work Wednesday morning. She says employees here picked up her 18-year-old cat Misty's body on Monday. She had planned to pick up the ashes today.
It's just sad, you know, very sad news.
Sad to see a fire rip through the building on West Flagler Street and West 109th Avenue Tuesday night, and see just how much damage was done to a place that has been so special to so many for several decades.
There's a lot of people who have their pets buried there, or they know their ashes were there, so it's devastating, extremely devastating.
Maria Amador says her English bulldog Princesa was cremated here 2 years ago. Her ashes scattered in a garden at the back of the property.
I will go there and feel the presence of my dog, yes. I passed by there last week.
Miami-Dade fire rescue crews getting control of the fire in about an hour and a half after getting the emergency calls around 9:30 p.m.
We saw like these huge flames just coming out.
Firefighters monitoring and working on hot spots for hours before investigators could get to work. Pet owners left to wonder, at least for now, what's next.
It was devastating not to be able to see them again. I don't know if they're going to rebuild. This is shocking.
Now, we did have a chance to peek behind this building here at the actual pet cemetery. It appeared to be relatively unscathed. Most of the damage here confined to the actual building here at the Pet Loss Center of Miami. Once again, the cause of the fire under investigation right now. We're live in West Miami-Dade. Katrina Bush, 7 News.
After record heat comes rounds of rain. 7's meteorologist Vivian Gonzalez is here to tell us if the wet weather will ruin 4th of July fireworks. Viv?
Well, I have some good news to report. It looks like tomorrow will be the driest day out of the week, but we have to get through today first. Despite the fact that we have some storms developing on the radar, it is still sizzling. And here's a look at the radar. We have the sea breeze generating quite a bit of activity, a line that extends not only from Broward, but all the way into southern Miami-Dade. We're going to start things off with northern Broward County. We're seeing heavy downpours between Tamarack, Margate, 441 the Turnpike, heading south into Sunrise and Plantation 595. And there's a cluster of storms from Cooper City through Pembroke Pines and Miramar. This activity that stretches as far south as Miami Lakes and Hialeah could produce strong winds and hail. It's being marked on the radar that could be a possibility. And the rain, thunderstorms growing into Hialeah, Miami Springs, Virginia Gardens, and Okeechobee Road. South into Miami International Airport, Southwest 8th Street, Sunset, you're dealing with periods of rain. And Doral looks to be on the drier side into the Turnpike, but we're also noticing rain around Cutler Bay, Naranja, Leisure City, some thunderstorms south of Florida City. The Florida Keys, at least the lower end, has been dealing with some spotty downpours. Right now, one to talk about, and that's around Cudjoe Key. Storm Prediction Center has placed us under a marginal risk of seeing storms that could produce winds anywhere between 50 to 60 miles per hour, dangerous lightning, and water spouts. So here's a look at the satellite picture to show you that we still have sunshine, but these clouds are starting to bubble up. And check out the temperatures. 81 in Miami. That's because we're seeing some rain. 89 in Fort Lauderdale. Moments ago, Miami reported 93. 91 in Marathon, with the winds out of the east, southeast, west, northwest at times 10 to 15 miles per hour. Factor in the high humidity. It feels like 102 degrees to the skin in Fort Lauderdale, 103 in West Kendall.
And Robin's Alex Browning reports drivers can expect this traffic trouble to last for years.
It is very slow this morning. Traffic is backed up towards the Golden Glades.
A traffic terror during the morning commute Tuesday along southbound lanes of I-95 towards downtown.
It's going to be at least about a 54-minute ride from the Golden Glades into the downtown area.
Slowdowns like these apparently the new reality for South Florida drivers heading to downtown, Brickell, or the beaches, at least until 2023.
In case you haven't gotten the memo, anybody going eastbound on 395, you used to have 2 lanes cutting from southbound 95 to 395 eastbound. You only have 1 left lane now.
It's all part of Miami's I-395 reconstruction project now underway. The eastbound on-ramp to 395 from southbound lanes of I-95 now down to 1 lane.
Check out this guy in a lawn truck here. Oh, yeah. Oh, you got to go over here.
The 5-year, $800 million redesign includes double-decking a part of the 836 over the Miami River, a bridge over Biscayne Boulevard onto 395, also lane widening and a park below.
It sounds like we have a lot more things on the 836 we need to be fixing before we plan on putting metal sphere above traffic.
State and local transportation officials say the project will relieve congestion, bottlenecking, and improve safety, but some aren't convinced.
It's not going to work. take them $800 million and divide it into all the transit system and put main veins so that we don't have to drive and have the congestion in this country.
The massive project made the list of top 5 expensive, unnecessary, and counterproductive highway projects in the U.S. by nonprofit U.S. Public Interest Research Group.
We have hurricanes and rain and wind that's gonna cause so much trouble that I don't think it's worth it personally.
And with this project, a lot of detours and road closures ahead. You'll have to maneuver. We have all of that info on our website, WSVN.com. In downtown Miami, Alex Browning, 7 News.
Now, 7 weather with meteorologist Vivian Gonzalez.
Good afternoon, South Florida. We have showers, thunderstorms developing, so you'll notice a difference in the temperatures where it's raining, 89 in Fort Lauderdale, 81 in Miami, but then you take a look at Miccosukee, Key West at 91, same for Pompano Beach. And the winds are out of the east, 11 to 15 miles per hour, and the humidity at 82%. So let's take a look at the radar. We have a long line of showers and storms that starts off in Broward County and it moves into southern Miami-Dade. We're going to zoom on a little closer to show you that it is raining hard around Parkland, the Turnpike, Sawgrass Expressway, heading into Coral Springs, Tamarack. It's a lightning show here all the way into Sunrise and Plantation, Lauderhill. Plantation, 595 seeing some moderate to heavy rain, Davie, Cooper City too. But here we're noticing moderate rains, then it gets heavier into Royal Palm Ranches and Miramar. Thunderstorms around Country Club, Miami Lakes, and Hialeah, where the radar's picking up a strong wind gust marker and the potential for hail. This activity is drifting southward all the way into Okeechobee Road, where it continues into Tamiami Trail, Kendall Lakes, Coral Gables, Pinecrest, and even the crossings. And now we have pop-up downpours around Naranja, Leisure City, Homestead, thunderstorms south of Florida City into the upper Florida Keys. Lower Keys, Big Pine Key, seeing a moderate heavy downpour. So we have high pressure over in the Gulf of Mexico, which is why those showers and storms are drifting southward. And we are going to be noticing area of high pressure in the Atlantic scooting in our direction tomorrow, so chances for rain go down. The driest day of the week, Independence Day for us. And then on Friday, a chance of showers starts to return into the forecast, but it should be nice for all the fireworks shows. 93 is a forecast high tomorrow on the 4th of July, low temperature 79. We don't have any boating advisories right now. Biscayne Bay smooth to a light chop in the Florida Keys. Next high tide will happen at 9:55 this evening in Fort Lauderdale. The remainder of the afternoon, it'll still be steamy. Stray storms possible, producing pockets of heavy rain. Some clouds, an isolated shower early evening, with your extended outlook calling for the chances for rain to go up once again Friday into the upcoming weekend with a better breeze out of the east. That's your 7 on 7.
And also this noon, officers in Pembroke Pines discovering a snake in the grass and calling in trappers to safely remove it. This is unbelievable. A 7-foot boa constrictor located near Northwest 17th Street and Northwest 184th Avenue. Officials telling reptile owners to safely and legally find a new home for their pets instead of just releasing them into the wild, because many are invasive species and then they end up there on the street in the middle of nowhere. A proper home will be found for the snake, we're told.
All right, well, still ahead on 7 News at noon. Staying safe during an explosive holiday celebration. We are fired up for fun on the 4th after the break.
Major construction on this runway at Fort Lauderdale Hollywood International Airport could impact your summer travel plans. It's our special report, Runway Delay.
And later on, a young baller's sweet play, and we aren't just talking about his action on the field.
Severe weather can strike any time, and when it does, 7's got you covered. 24/7.
We'll see storms developing.
We have a long line of rainfall here.
We are the storm station, 7 News. Knocking on doors, tracking down the truth.
Can we get your side of the story?
Never holding back. Asking the tough questions.
Feds say that you scammed the system.
Fearless, determined. 7's Grind Engine investigates. Only on 7 News.
Plenty of people are gearing up to have fun on the 4th.
But officials want it to be a safe celebration. 7's Katrina Bush has some tips from the experts.
fireworks, a fixture of 4th of July celebrations. So many ready to see this in a few days. But for South Florida first responders and medical professionals,
we will see fingers fractured, we will see fingers blown off, we will see faces burned, we will see hands burned.
In 2018 alone, we had over 9,100 cases reported in emergency rooms due to burns and firework-related injuries. That's about 250 cases per day.
They're issuing a warning and some important tips to keep in mind to stay safe, like buying fireworks from approved vendors, lighting them on a flat surface, and having a water bucket, hose, or fire extinguisher nearby.
Basically practice safe firework shooting.
Even these sparklers can be dangerous. Kids love them. They seem easy to use, but experts say they can burn up to 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit and can burn through metal and glass.
A child grabbing a sparkler can get a third degree burn to the hand in seconds.
This demonstration showing how quickly damage can be done. Less than 2 weeks ago in Pompano Beach, an 8- and 9-year-old suffered second-degree burns while playing with an illegal homemade fireworks device known as an onion bomb. According to Miami-Dade Fire Rescue, a lot of the injuries happen when people try to relight fireworks that aren't working properly.
There's no need for that. Once a firework doesn't work or it's been shot off, just turn it off, dump it in a bucket of water, or never throw it away in the trash. You could reignite and start a fire.
Even with these tips, these experts would prefer you leave the fireworks to the professionals.
Go see a fireworks show that's done professionally and enjoy that. Don't do it at home.
In Doral, Katrina Bush, 7 News.
And it's time for a break and a check on Wall Street.
Well, right now the Dow is up around 154 points and closing in on the 27,000 mark. The NASDAQ is up 46 points and the S&P 500 is up 18. You're watching 7 News at noon. We'll be right back.
The summer travel season is here, but if you're flying out of one South Florida airport, work on the ground could leave your departure time up in the air.
Yeah, 7's Brian Enton has a special assignment report, runway delay.
It is the fastest growing airport in the country. Fort Lauderdale Hollywood International is busy with flights from around the world. And it's also now a massive construction site. Dump trucks are hauling asphalt 24 hours a day to replace the aging North Runway.
How big of a project is this?
This is one of the largest projects the airport has undertaken in quite some time.
While the North Runway is being rebuilt, airlines are relying on the newer South Runway. It's the only other runway at the airport, which means it is packed with planes during peak times. And when summer storms roll through, one runway is a recipe for delays.
When we try to recover with one runway, it's much more timely. It takes you longer to launch all the planes, to allow the planes that need to come back in to land on the South Runway.
Resurfacing the 9,000-foot runway is a massive project. It'll likely take 3 months and cost about $90 million. A lot of time and money, and a lot of frustration for neighbors who live near the now constantly busy South Runway.
It's just constant. It's literally a 24-hour thing. Again, it's just, and here comes another one.
Every 2 minutes?
Every 2 minutes.
April Alonzo lives under the flight path. Before the North Runway was shut down for rehab, the airport agreed to limit the flights that fly over April's house. But that has all changed because of the construction. The jets seem to never stop, even in the middle of the night.
Are you sleep deprived?
Definitely. And crazy.
It makes you cranky?
Absolutely. Yeah.
April and her family wear earplugs when they're home. She has called the airport, but they say there's nothing they can do.
There's some people that are very upset, clearly, but for the most part, people are understanding and they realize that there is an end to this.
The runway resurfacing project should be finished sometime in September. Then both runways will be back open, cutting down on flight delays for flyers and noise for neighbors. Brian Enton, 7 News.
7 News at noon, not over yet. Coming up next.
10 and done. A big-named Hollywood director is scripting the end to his filmmaking career, and we got the details in Real News.
I'm Steve Shapiro. Team USA talks about their big win over England yesterday in the Women's World Cup, and we've got kind of a funny ending to the sportscast. 7 Sports coming up.
Time now for 7 Sports with Steve Shapiro.
And make way for the red, white, and blue. The U.S. Women's World Cup team in the semifinals yesterday against England.
We got shooters. They shooting. We got shooters. We got shooters. Let's go.
Whiteside was traded for Myers Leonard. Leonard's wife posted, "We got shooters coming to Miami." And that's her knocking down all these jump shots in a row. She's good. That's all I got. I'm Steve Shapiro. Make it a great day, everybody.
And next on 7 News at noon.
Viv will be back with a check on the stormy weather out there. Yeah, here's a live look. You can see what we're talking about.
There are those clouds. You see them?
Yeah.
Tonight on 7 News at 5:30.
I'm Balkis Nare. Here's your chance to make your own version of a dish that's been served up Miami style for decades.
It's a heavy influence on our city and our different cultures. We always give it that little extra love.
Get the recipe when we grab a bite on 7 News at 5:30.
Cool.
Yeah, it's Drake. Well, that wraps it up for 7 News at noon. I'm Lorena Estrada.
And I'm Alex Diarmas. Have a great day, everyone, and drive safely because the storms have already started. We'll see you tomorrow morning.